Hey YouTube, it's Luke here again. Today I'm going to review the Aqualung I750 dive computer. There aren't many videos of this online. I struggled when I was going to purchase it as whether or not to purchase it, and I didn't see a lot of other reviews, so I wanted to make sure I got this video out here so you guys can make a better decision. Okay, Aqualung's got a lot of hype around them. They're a great manufacturer. Apex is a great manufacturer. Almost everything I own is Aqualung. I really believe in their products. I like the simplicity plus the technology at a certain price point. They make just great equipment. But this i750 is a very neat dive computer. It's based off of the platform of Oceanic, and Oceanic has a computer that's very similar. There are a couple of other manufacturers that are very similar, but the software on this one is a little different. The screen layout is a little different, so it's not exactly the same as the other dive computers if you're seeing them and wondering, hey, they look pretty similar. So in a minute I'll give you an up close of this, but first I just want to give you a brief overview. So I got this dive computer. I was a little concerned about it just because I wanted to make sure I could see it underwater real well. I had never had air integration before wirelessly. I had a Sunto Cobra before that, so I had the hose on it. So I was a little hesitant, you know. I know sometimes people struggle with pairing. So the neat thing about Aqualung is the transmitter, which I have here on my regulator. You can kind of see it right there. It's pretty small. The battery life on it so far is awesome, but the greatest thing about it is it's paired for life. So once you pair it to this i750, which this i750 can accept up to 3 transmitters. So if you want to run 3 different gas mixes, you know, if you've got a mid gas or a bottom gas, you know, whatever the situation, you can do that with 3 different transmitters, and you can set that up in this computer, which in my opinion is incredible for a computer to be able to do that. So very nice design. You don't have to worry about the transmitter disconnecting from it and all of a sudden you lose your air pressure down below. With that being said, I always recommend keeping a spare SPG and a redundant dive computer, especially if you're doing a lot of deep diving. But great computer. I'll show you the screen in a minute. The battery life is pretty good on it. The nice thing is it takes a very inexpensive battery. It's a CR123, and it's a CR2. And I got about a dozen dives off of the battery that it came with, but the battery that it came with had already been worn down a little bit. So I've got a new battery in here, probably got about 15 dives on it, and it says it's full still. So it's not like you're changing the battery every week on these, despite the beautiful color display, the bright backlighting, wireless capability. Now this is the i750TC, so it also has Bluetooth connectivity. You can hook your phone up to it, and there's the Diver Log app, and you can basically import, whether you have a Mac, an iPad, an iPhone, whatever the situation, you can import all of your dive logs to that. Very user-friendly, gorgeous interface. It shows you everything about your dive profile, you know, if you've got, if you breathe a nitrox, shows your mods, different things like that, your O2 load factor, different things. Really neat computer. Without further ado, let me just show you this up close so you can see what the screen looks like. Alright, I kind of turned the lights off so you can see the screen a little better. This is basically it. When you first turn it on, it's going to give you your home menu, and you've got My Info, which is all of your personal information you can put on the computer, phone number, address, things like that. You've got a mode setting, and this is what I'll show you in a second. You can go down to your log, and it's actually a very interactive log. You can see, I'll take you to my log, I'll show you my most recent dive. We'll go with this one. Basically it told me it's a no deco dive at sea level. Start time is 1:29, dive time was 46 minutes, max depth with 11 feet. This was just a shallow night dive I did. Minimum temperature, take you to the next page. I was diving air, average depth was only 8 feet, average temp 73, start PSI was 3002 and ended at 1720. Kind of a nice log screen there. To get back a menu, you press and hold this bottom left button, and it takes you back to your home menu. You've got a setup. This is where you can set up different gases, different alarms. It has 2 turn pressures on it, so I like to do the rule of thirds. I turn at 2,000, head back, I head up the line with 1,000 left, so that helps me out a ton. You got dive history and dive computer information. Okay, so let's go into the mode. I'm using these left and right arrows to go up and down, and we hit select over here on the side. and I can pick between dive, gauge, and free. Okay, so gauge if you're doing some tech diving is helpful, free diving obviously if you're into apnea, and I'm just going to go into the dive setting. Now, beautiful screen. Shows your battery life down here. Because I'm not in the water, it doesn't show you, but over here on this side you would get a bar that would show your nitrogen load factor. Over here on the left you would get another bar that shows you your ascent rate, which is very helpful. It does have alarms for ascent rate and things like that. Down here it says air, tank number 1. Again, as I told you before, you can pair up to 3 transmitters with this, so it would say tank 2 or 3. It's currently not reading me a PSI because I don't have my regulators hooked up to a cylinder right now. Down here in the bottom right, it's gas time remaining. Just above that, we have dive time, total dive time. Our surface time, right now I'm sitting on the surface for 2 minutes, obviously. And this is my dive 0 out of 1, 2, 3 dives, however many. And it tells you you're in dive mode. So once you're in here, you can hold the select button down and it takes you into the compass. This compass is very accurate, very easy to use. It works at pretty much any angle that you hold it at. Great compass, easy to turn on. You can set the amount of time it stays on for. You can also set markers, point markers, heading markers, things like that. To get back, oh, and then there's a calibration menu. Under here, compass main and set declination if you want to, alter magnetic north or whatever. Then you're going to press and hold the select button, and that takes you back to your dive screen. The bottom right button down here affects your backlight. So if you press it one time, it'll give you a quick overview of your dive. If you press and hold it, it takes you into your brightness. You can adjust this 100%. 10%, 20, 30, 40, so on. Okay, to get back out of that, we press and hold that bottom left button again, and it takes us back to our dive screen. As you can see, the battery compartment is user accessible, battery is user changeable, and it's just as simple as putting a dime in there and turning it, and you can get that CR2 battery out of there. And same thing with the transmitter. If we take a look at this, just put a dime in the end, unscrew that. Just make sure the O-rings are in there well, and you lubricate them, help keep the water out. Alright, so to wrap this up, it's a great dive computer. It's built really well, very strong. I've dropped it a lot. It doesn't have any damage to it. It's very overmolded, which I'm a big fan of. The wrist strap is great. Be careful when you cut yours off. I cut mine a little too short. It still works, but it's kind of tight to squeeze it on. So great interface. The buttons on here are awesome. Just if you're looking into it and you're kind of between this and the Oceanic or whatever, I would probably go with the Aqualung. So guys, thanks again for watching my review. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Little red button in the corner down there. It helps me out a ton. I'd love to keep bringing you great reviews on products. If there's anything you want to see or any questions you have, please let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, guys.